My name is Sister Catherine, and what I'm about to share with you will challenge everything you thought you knew about temptation, spiritual warfare, and the cosmic battle that began in Eden. For 45 years, I have dedicated my life to contemplative prayer and the study of Scripture as a Carmelite nun. Yet nothing in my long journey prepared me for the day I experienced a near-death encounter. A moment that lasted exactly 23 minutes and 17 seconds, during which I witnessed divine truths that have forever transformed my understanding of our world. It was an ordinary afternoon in our convent's garden, a sanctuary where I often found solace among blooming roses and whispering winds. As I carefully pruned the roses, lost in quiet meditation, an unexpected and excruciating pain seized my chest. It was as if a vice had clamped down upon my heart, squeezing out every ounce of strength. I reached out, calling softly to my fellow sisters, but the sound of my own voice was swallowed by an eerie, oppressive silence. In that harrowing moment, the world around me began to spin. The familiar scents of the garden faded into the background, leaving me suspended in a twilight between life and death. Then, in a flash, the unbearable pain and darkness gave way to a blinding light. I found myself leaving the physical realm behind and entering a dimension of pure radiance. There was no tunnel as many have described in near-death experiences. Instead, I drifted through an expanse where colors defied earthly description, where each hue shone with a brilliance that no human eye had ever seen. Sounds filled the space, a harmonious blend that could only be described as the music of the spheres, resonating with a profound sense of order and love. Every fiber of my being vibrated with a deep, inexplicable warmth, as if I were being cradled by the very essence of divine grace. In this luminous realm I soon encountered him, Jesus Christ. Before me stood a figure cloaked in an indescribable radiance. His presence was both tangible and transcendent. His eyes, deep and eternal, conveyed a love and wisdom that seemed to hold the secrets of all creation. With a voice that resonated with both gentleness and authority, he said, "Rise, Catherine. I have brought you here for a purpose." In that moment, I knew I had been summoned not by chance but by divine design, to witness revelations that would forever change my understanding of the sacred story of Eden. As I rose, guided by his serene command, the space around us began to shift. We were no longer in the liminal realm between life and death. We had entered an Eden unlike any I had ever imagined. This garden was alive with an intensity of beauty and vibrancy that surpassed every earthly paradise. The air shimmered as if infused with living light, and every flower and leaf pulsed with an inner glow that spoke of divine perfection. Yet within this splendor there lay a mystery, a secret that had been hidden behind layers of symbolism and time. "Watch carefully," Jesus said, gesturing to a presence that materialized among the luminous trees and radiant streams. At first, I saw what appeared to be a mere serpent slithering through the undergrowth. However, as I looked closer, the creature transformed before my eyes. It was not the common snake of earthly lore but a being emanating a brilliance that defied description. Its form was fluid and ever-changing, adorned with patterns that shone like precious stones, capturing the glory of the light around it. This was no ordinary reptile. This was a being that existed on a level far beyond our mundane understanding. In a voice both solemn and inviting, Jesus explained, "This is who your scriptures refer to as the Nachash. While translations may simplify it as serpent, the truth is infinitely more profound. This being is a divine guardian, a cherub who once basked in the glory of God's presence before pride set him on a path of rebellion." I stood transfixed, my heart pounding with both awe and sorrow as I witnessed the interplay of light and shadow within this celestial form. The being's radiance was intertwined with an undercurrent of melancholy, a testament to a once perfect nature now marred by an insidious corruption. Unable to contain my wonder and confusion, I asked in a trembling whisper, "Lord, why has such a profound truth been veiled from us for so long?" His eyes, filled with eternal compassion, met mine as he replied, "It was never hidden, dear Catherine, but cloaked in mystery so that the human mind might only grasp a fragment of its truth. The complexity of spiritual realities often gets reduced to simple symbols and metaphors. You must look beyond the surface to see the depth of divine order and the tragic fall of one who was meant to be a guardian of light." In that moment the vision began to expand. The garden around us shifted into a more intricate panorama, a recreation of the Garden of Eden that defied any earthly depiction. Every detail was hyper-real. The vibrant hues of the flora, the sparkling dewdrops on the leaves, and the palpable sense of peace that resonated throughout the space. And yet, amidst this perfection, I sensed an undercurrent of impending tragedy, a paradox that spoke of beauty corrupted by pride. Jesus beckoned me closer to a particular scene unfolding before our eyes. We stood at the threshold of the garden's greatest secret, the story of temptation. I watched intently as the fallen cherub approached Eve, not in the guise of a threatening monster, but in a form of deceptive beauty. The creature's appearance was striking. It radiated wisdom and an almost divine charm that made its presence seem not only acceptable but alluring. Its approach was measured and its voice gentle, as if it had every right to be there. "Notice," Jesus instructed softly, "how it begins not with blatant falsehood but with a simple, seemingly innocent question. A question that plants the first seed of doubt." I observed with mounting amazement as the being's subtle tactics unfolded. Once a perfect creature of light, it now carried the scars of ambition and rebellion in the quiet shift of its aura. It was clear that this was no random encounter. This was the orchestrated beginning of a cosmic rebellion, a carefully crafted deception that would eventually lead to the fall of humankind. The cherub's elegant yet cunning approach was the very embodiment of temptation, a strategy so refined that it could only be the work of one who had once been among the highest in the heavens. In the next vision, I was transported to a celestial assembly, a gathering of beings that defied earthly description. I saw the fallen cherub in his original form, radiant, adorned with shimmering scales that refracted divine light into every color imaginable. He stood before God's throne, a symbol of perfection and wisdom. But as I watched, a subtle change took over. His eyes, once filled with the wonder of divine beauty, began to show a glimmer of defiance. It was as if the light that once illuminated him was gradually being overtaken by a shadow of pride and ambition. I saw the transformation in slow motion, the divine brilliance dimming as a corrosive darkness seeped in, marking the beginning of his tragic fall. Jesus' voice broke through my silent awe. "This is the origin of all deception." The cherub was not merely cast down because of a single act but was gradually consumed by the hubris that led him to challenge the very throne of God. His fall was not instantaneous. It was a slow, insidious process, a decay of the soul that turned divine light into a tool of seduction and subterfuge. As his words echoed in the vastness of that heavenly vision, I began to understand that the story of Eden was not a simple tale of good versus evil. It was a cosmic drama in which every act of rebellion carried consequences that rippled through all of creation. The vision then shifted to reveal the very heart of the cosmic battle, a confrontation that would later be embodied in the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. I was shown the moment at Calvary, where divine love clashed with ancient defiance. It was as if time itself slowed down, allowing me to witness not only the physical agony of Christ's death but also the spiritual triumph that unfolded simultaneously. Jesus explained, "When I declared it is finished on the cross, I was not just ending my physical suffering. I was delivering a decisive blow to the force of rebellion that began in Eden. My sacrifice was the ultimate act of cosmic restoration, a victory that overturned the power of the fallen cherub and restored divine order." I felt the weight of those words as the scene around me morphed into the somber yet triumphant atmosphere of Calvary. I saw the heavens darken momentarily as the veil between the spiritual and the earthly realms thinned. In that moment, the true significance of Christ's sacrifice became clear. It was not merely about redeeming human sin, but about confronting and defeating a primordial force that had corrupted the very essence of creation. The battle that started in Eden had found its resolution in the blood and resurrection of Jesus, a truth that resonated through every fiber of my being. As the vision continued, I was led back through the corridors of time, witnessing how this ancient cosmic conflict has shaped every moment of human history. I saw that every act of temptation, every moment of doubt, bore the subtle imprint of the fallen cherub's deception, a legacy that endures even today. Understanding the nature of temptation, Jesus told me in a tone that was both compassionate and firm, requires us to see beyond our immediate struggles. We are engaged in a spiritual warfare where the forces of darkness are not merely symbolic, but real, and they continue to challenge the light of divine truth. The revelation deepened as I was shown scenes of everyday life. A world where the cosmic battle echoes in the small decisions and silent moments of doubt that each person experiences. I saw how the fallen cherub's influence, though defeated, still lingers in the shadows of our hearts. Every whisper of fear, every flicker of indecision, was a reminder that the enemy's tactics are subtle, insidious, and persistent. Jesus' voice, gentle yet resolute, reminded me that it is only through the awareness of this spiritual reality that we can hope to overcome the challenges of our daily lives. In a final, heart-stirring sequence, the vision brought me back to the Garden of Eden, a place now imbued with the full gravity of the cosmic drama that had unfolded there. I saw the profound connection between that ancient paradise and the redemption offered through Christ's sacrifice. The once perfect garden, now tarnished by rebellion, was restored in spirit through the divine act of love. "Share this truth, Catherine," Jesus implored as the vision began to recede. "Let all who hear it understand that the battle we face is not solely against human frailty, but against spiritual forces that have shaped our very existence. My victory on the cross is complete. It has restored hope to every corner of creation, mending what was once broken." With those final words echoing in my soul, I felt myself being gently drawn back into the realm of the living. The radiant light began to fade, replaced gradually by the familiar yet transformed environment of our convent's garden. I awoke with a start, gasping for air as the concerned faces of the medical team came into focus. They marveled at the miracle of my recovery, confirming that I had been clinically dead for 23 minutes and 17 seconds. Yet for me, the true miracle was not my return to life. It was the profound insight into the spiritual truths I had witnessed. Since that day, I have devoted myself to sharing this revelation, to inviting others to look beyond the surface of everyday life and to see the profound cosmic battle that underpins our existence. The story of Eden, with its layers of beauty and tragedy, is not merely a tale of forbidden fruit and lost innocence. It is a narrative of divine intervention, a chronicle of a fallen guardian whose pride corrupted his heavenly nature, and of a savior whose sacrifice restored the order of all things. I share this testimony not as an extraordinary tale of survival, but as an invitation, a call to awaken to the reality of the spiritual warfare that surrounds us. In understanding that the temptations we face are rooted in an ancient rebellion, we can better appreciate the magnitude of Christ's victory on the cross. His death was not only an act of redemption for human sin but a decisive strike against the cosmic force of deception that began in Eden. Every time I reflect on that experience, I am filled with a renewed sense of purpose and hope. I am reminded that while the battle may be vast and the enemy cunning, the power of divine love is greater still. It is this hope, this light that pierces the darkness, that I pray you carry with you in your own journey. May you see beyond the everyday struggles and recognize the grand design in which every moment, every challenge, plays a part in the cosmic narrative of redemption. Thank you for listening to my testimony. If this story has touched your heart or opened your eyes to a deeper truth, please take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more uplifting messages. Your support helps spread hope, faith, and love to others around the world.